walk on the moon, sail the great seas, live in a tree house and do anything you please. Learn a few spells, be a bug in the weeds. Just read a good book, 'cause it's all you'll ever need. I like to read indeed. I like to read, won't you read with me? Follow these words and you will see. You'll like to read, want to read like me. You can find a lost treasure, race a horse with cowboys, fly through the clouds to an island filled with toys. Pirate or ninja, superhero or queen, just read a good book, 'cause it's all you'll ever need. I like to read indeed. I like to read, won't you read with me? Follow these words and you will see. You'll like to read, want to read like me. Want to walk on the moon, sail the great seas, live in a tree house and do anything you please. Learn a few spells, be a bug in the weeds. Just read a good book, 'cause it's all you'll ever need. I like to read indeed. I like to read, won't you read with me? Follow these words and you will see. You'll like to read, want to read like me. You can find a lost treasure, race a horse with cowboys, fly through the clouds to an island filled with toys. Pirate or ninja, superhero or queen, just read a good book, 'cause it's all you'll ever need.
Hello everyone, this will be our first story time program for the summer. Due to the situation, we can have really no one here at the library for programs like summers before, but we're really excited to do this for y'all, so I hope you'll enjoy. For our first program, we will have Veronica Mandujano from Mandujano Brothers Produce, and she will be the first one, like she will do the kickoff of the reading program with us. So she's gonna talk a little bit about what it takes, what they do out there in Cayenosa, Texas, and then she'll read a story for us. Okay, we'll have the English version and I'll read the Spanish version. So hope you enjoy.
Hi, I'm Veronica Mandujano from Mandujano Brothers Produce, and we have a farm in Cayenosa, and it's about 30 miles from Fort Stockton. So I want to talk to you today a little bit about farm workers and migrant workers. I'm going to use a book, and the title is Imagine, and it's by the author Juan Felipe Herrera. Have you ever imagined who you might be when you grow up? When Juan Felipe Herrera was very young, he picked flowers, helped his mama feed the chickens, slept under the starry sky, and learned to say goodbye to his amiguitos each time his migrant family moved on. When he grew up, Juan Felipe Herrera became a poet. His breathtaking poem, Imagine, and Lauren Castillo's evocative illustrations will speak to every reader and dreamer searching for their place in life. Who might you be? Imagine. This author, Juan Felipe Herrera, is a poet, performance artist, and activist. The son of migrant farm workers, he was the U.S. Poet Laureate from 2015 to 2017. He is the author of more than a dozen collections of poetry, in addition to short stories, young adult novels, and children's literature, including Jabberwocking, which he both wrote and illustrated. Juan Felipe Herrera lives with his life partner, poet Margarita Robles, in Fresno, California. So he was a migrant worker, or son of migrant workers, and he had to move around a lot. And I'm gonna read his poem now and then talk a little bit about our farm workers that we have at our farm. Imagine. If I picked chamomile flowers as a child in the windy fields and whispered to their fuzzy faces, imagine. If I let tadpoles swim across my hands in the wavy creek, Imagine if I jumped up high into my papi's army truck and left our village of farm workers and waved adios to my amiguitos. Imagine if I let the stars at night paint my blanket with milky light with shapes of hungry birds while I slept outside. Imagine what you could do if I helped Mama feed the hopping chickens and catch the crazy turkey in the front yard of our new village. Imagine if I walked through the evening forest at the top of a mountain with a silvery bucket to fetch water from the next town. Imagine if I moved to the winding city of tall bending buildings and skipped to a new concrete school I had never seen. Imagine if I opened my classroom's wooden door not knowing how to read or speak in English. Imagine if I practiced spelling words in English by saying them in Spanish, like pencil for pencil. Imagine if I collected gooey and sticky ink pens because I loved how the ink flowed like tiny rivers across soft paper. Imagine if I grabbed a handful of words I had never heard and sprinkled them over a paragraph so I could write a magnificent story. Imagine if I stood up in a school far away from where I lived and sang for the first time in front of class. Imagine if I started to write a poem on a skinny paper pad after school as I walked on the wide sidewalk and then finished it when I got home. Imagine if I picked up my honey-colored guitar and called out my poem every day until it turned into a song. Imagine if I gathered many words and many more songs with both of my hands and let them fly over my mesa and turn them into a book of poems. Imagine if I stood up wearing a robe in front of my familia and many more on the high steps of the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., and read out loud and signed my poetry book like this: Poet Laureate of the United States of America. Imagine what you could do. So who might you be when you grow up? Just imagine what you can do. So the author of this book, Juan Felipe Herrera, was a Mexican immigrant. He came from Mexico with his parents, and he didn't know any English, but every day that he went to school, he worked very hard, and he studied, and he learned English, he learned how to spell, he learned how to read, and he became a very famous, well-known author. He writes many books. So in our farm at Mandujano Brothers, we have a lot of families that also come from Mexico, and they work at our farm. The parents work in the fields, helping us plant and harvest our produce. And these workers that we have on our farm have children, just like Juan Felipe Herrera. And these children go to school here in the United States. They come over here and they don't know any English, but as the years go on, they practice and study really hard, and they learn how to read and write, and they go on to have jobs like Juan Felipe Herrera. They might be authors or teachers or lawyers or doctors. So I just want to let everyone know that by reading every day and studying really hard, even if you don't know the language, even if you do know the language, there's just so much you can do. It just depends how hard you work. So every year we have our immigrant workers that come from Mexico, and they arrive in the month of March, and they stay and help us plant, and then they work through the harvest season, which is all summer long through October, and they harvest all our watermelon and our cantaloupe and other produce that we have, like onions and peppers and pumpkins. And with their hard work, we're able to have all this fresh produce for everyone. And right now it's our harvest season, so our workers are working really hard every day in the hot summer heat, over 100 degrees every day, but they're out there working so that every one of you can have fresh produce in Cayenosa, and everyone can go out there and get it right now because it's freshly picked every day by our hard-working migrant workers. And we've had our workers for many years. Some of the workers have been with us for over 10 years, 15 years, and they come back year after year. They work through our planting and harvest season, and then they go back home to Mexico. Sometimes they don't bring their families with them, their children. It's just the men that come and work. So then they go back to Mexico and see their families. But sometimes they do bring their wife and kids, so the kids have to go to school here in Texas. So these workers, these migrant workers, they have a dream of making money so that they can provide for their families that stay in Mexico. So remember, all of you kids that have a dream about the future of whatever job you want to do, the most important thing is to keep working really hard and never give up on a dream that you have, whether it's to be a teacher or a farmer or a lawyer or a doctor. You can do it.
So the book I'm going to read is called Imagina. It's the Spanish version of the book Miss Veronica read for you. It was wrote by Juan Felipe Herrera. I'm going to read you the synopsis of the book. ¿Alguna vez has imaginado quién serás cuando crezcas? Cuando Juan Felipe Herrera era niño, recogió flores, ayudó a su mamá a alimentar a los pollitos, durmió bajo el cielo centellante y aprendió a decirles adiós a sus amiguitos cada vez que su familia seguía el camino campesino. Al crecer, Juan Felipe Herrera se convirtió en un poeta. Su hermoso poema Imagina y las surgentes ilustraciones de Lauren Castillo le hablarán a cada lector y soñador que está buscando su lugar en la vida. ¿Quién podrías llegar a ser? Imagina. The back part says, Juan Felipe Herrera es poeta, artista y activista, hijo de trabajadores agrícolas migrantes. Fue designado poeta laureado de los Estados Unidos de América del 2015 al 2017. Es autor de más de una docena de libros y poesías, además de cuentos y novelas para jóvenes adultos y de literatura infantil, incluyendo Jabberwocky, que también ilustró. Juan Felipe Herrera vive en Fresno, California, con su pareja de toda la vida, la poeta Margarita Robles. So the title again was Imagina. Si de niño recogí flores de manzanilla en los prados doblados por el viento y les susurré a sus caritas vellosas, imagina. Si dejé que los renacuajos nadaran entre mis manos en el riachuelo ondulado, imagina. Si con un gran salto subí a la camioneta del Army de mi papá y me alejé de nuestro pueblo de campesinos diciéndole adiós a mis amiguitos, imagina. Si dejé que las estrellas en la noche pintaran en mi cobija con su luz lechosa figuras de pajaritos hambrientos, imagina lo que tú podrías hacer. Si le ayudé a mi mamá a alimentar a los pollitos salterinos en nuestro jardín y a atrapar el pavo loco en nuestro pueblito nuevo, imagina. Si caminé al anochecer a través del bosque en lo alto de la montaña con un balde plateado para ir a buscar agua en el pueblo vecino, imagina. Si me mudé a la ciudad serpenteante de los altos edificios flexibles como arcilla y fui dando saltitos hasta llegar a una nueva escuela de concreto que nunca antes había visto, imagina. Si abrí la puerta de madera de mi salón de clases sin saber leer o hablar inglés, imagina. Si practiqué la ortografía de las palabras en inglés, pronunciándolas en español de esta manera: pencil, for pencil, imagina. Si coleccioné plumas manchadas y pegajosas porque me encantaba ver fluir la tinta como pequeños ríos sobre el papel blanquito, imagina. Si atrapé un puñado de palabras que jamás había escuchado y las esparcí sobre un párrafo para poder escribir un cuento magnífico, imagina. Si estuve de pie en una escuela lejos de donde vivía y canté por primera vez frente a la clase, imagina. Si al salir de la escuela comencé a escribir un poema en un delgado cuaderno de papel mientras caminaba por la ancha vereda y luego lo terminé cuando llegué a casa, imagina. Si tomé mi guitarra de color de la miel y recité mi poema todos los días hasta que se convirtió en una canción, imagina. Si junté con mis dos manos muchas palabras y canciones y las dejé volar sobre mi mesa, convirtiéndolas en un libro de poesías, imagina. Si estuve de pie, vestido de toga, delante de mi familia y de muchos más, en las escalinatas de la Biblioteca del Congreso de Washington, D.C., y leí en voz alta y firme mi libro de poesías, así: poeta laureado de los Estados Unidos de América. Imagina lo que tú podrías hacer. And that's the end. I hope you like it.